Inside Crime is produced by A Block Media, a full-service consulting firm specializing in media solutions for the law enforcement community. Law enforcement professionals know A Block is a partner they can trust. I'm Angeline Hartman. As a journalist, I've worked with cops and victims of crime all over the country. My craft is storytelling. My passion is crime fighting. Hi, everyone. The story I'm bringing you today is an unsolved murder case out of Atlanta, Georgia, and I have a strong connection to it. I've covered this story a lot, both while I was a reporter in Atlanta and later when I worked at the television show America's Most Wanted. On June 7, 1995, 14-year-old Nacole Smith was killed not far from her home. For 25 years now, her mom, Nacole Smith, has been fighting to get answers.
You know, oftentimes I walk and I see somebody look like Nacole, and I imagine, what would she be doing today? And I just sit somewhere and I just cry. Heaven knows where she would have been today. She was my headstrong, my smart one, my go-getter. Nacole was. She was my mini-me. She wanted to be a pediatrician. She wanted to be a kid's doctor. Those was her dreams. She was an honor roll student. She loved kids, and she would tutor the kids in the neighborhood.
Nacole was in 8th grade at Ralph Bunche Middle School, just days away from graduating. Her mom, Aquanella, says June 7th was just a regular morning. The kids were getting ready for school, and there was the usual girl talk.
You know, at that time I was engaged, and she was like, "Ma, I don't like him." And I was like, y'all don't like nobody. If it's taking time away from you guys, you didn't like anybody. So we talked about that, and she would always want to put her hair in a ponytail. And I was like, "Nacole, not today." I say, plug the curlers up, curl your hair. I'm tired of the ponytail. So she walked down the hall to go to the bathroom to do her hair, and she looked at me. I don't know, it was something I said. She turned around, she said, "Ma, you so crazy." But she said, "But I love you anyway." And we laughed, and she went in the bathroom and she did her hair. And that's when they came out to get ready to go to school. And that's the last conversation her and I had.
Not long after that, Nacole, her older sister Nikita, and a friend headed off to school together. At some point, Nacole realized that she left behind her school project, and she turned back around to get it. Nacole didn't normally walk through the woods, but that morning she took that shortcut. Her mom says it was just after 9 o'clock when she heard gunshots. She had no idea what happened, but immediately she felt something was wrong.
I heard the gunshots about 9:20. The pain started in my head. And it was just all of a sudden, the pain just started. And I was like, oh my God, my head just started hurting and it wouldn't stop.
The people in the apartment complex heard shots and they heard some screams. And instead of calling 911, they called the apartment security. And so the apartment security got to the foot of the trail, and somebody said something, "There's some shots up there." And so they kind of hesitated going up the hill. So they said, "We better go back to the office and call 911. And, you know, that's what they did. They went all the way back to their office and called 911.
Atlanta police officer Reginald Boone was first on the scene.
I was the first APD officer to approach him. When I got the call, it came over as something minor. I mean, not really minor, but maybe a sick person. But when I got there, when I went up the hill, and this is a wooded area, it's just a path that a lot of the kids take every morning to take the shortcut to school. And when I saw the scene and everything, I knew immediately it wasn't anything minor. And that's when I went over and I touched her on the neck, and I didn't get any signs, no pulse. And that's when everything changed. It was just I got on the radio and I informed everybody I could, to come out. And Lieutenant got there and he cordoned off the the area. He put the tape up, because we didn't want a lot of people, coming through there.
Yeah. Could you tell what had happened to her? I mean, was it obvious what had happened? Or
it was. I saw. I knew that she'd been shot, and that's pretty much all I'll say about that. Yeah.
And I guess about 11:45, 2 officers came to the door and asked me, was I Nacole Smith? And I said yes. And asked me, did I know, was my daughter Nacole Smith? And I said yes. And they both said, we found a body in the woods. And I was like, I'm looking at them like, and what they have to do with me? And he said, they asked for a picture of Nacole. And it just hit me. This man just said they found a body in the woods. And they're saying to me, it's Nacole. So I went back to the bathroom and I got on my knees and I started praying. And praying, wishing it was not mine and didn't want it to be anyone else's child. So I came back up front. I was trying to pull myself together, hoping and praying all at the same time. Once I gave them this picture, they'll say it wasn't my child. So I gave them the picture. They looked at the picture and they both shook their head.
They both shook their heads, and then they told her the body found in the woods was very likely her daughter, Nacole Smith. Aquanella heard the words, but refused to believe it. Right then?
Yes, they did. They said it was her. And I called the school, and I asked them, was Nacole in school? And they looked at the roll book, and they said, yeah, she was in school. So I hung up the phone and I told the officers, I said, she's in school. It's not her, she's in school. And maybe a minute later, the school called back. The school called back and said that Nacole wasn't in school.
They made a mistake.
Yeah, they made a mistake. I said I had a little hope for maybe 30 seconds that it wasn't her.
For that brief moment, Aquanella thought it was all one big mistake. But soon she realized the truth. Nacole was dead.
They told me, actually they didn't even tell me how many times she was shot. They just told me she was raped, shot. She raised her hands, thinking her hands would protect her from being shot. He shot through her hands into her head. And that's what they told me what happened. I know more things happened, but it was just so much they could tell me, and I understand that. Because when I went to see Nacole's body, she put up such a fight that the perpetrator stomped her in her breast and flattened her breast out.
It was a brutal attack. Investigators believe Nacole struggled with the man. She was shot twice in the head. When Aquanella later saw her at the funeral home, she saw dried tears on Nacole's face. It's an image she can't ever shake from her mind. Over the years, she's asked herself the same questions over and over. Who did this to Nacole? Who stole her daughter's life? Why did this happen? The wait for those answers has sometimes been unbearable. Aquanella shared with me that she ended up in the hospital a few times, moments when she was weak, when she felt alone, and simply gave up.
I just wanted that pain to go away. Anything to numb me. Anything to numb me. I would drink a case of beer a day. And one morning I woke up and was like, you know what? You can't get any answers like this. You can't get answers when you're drunk and you're high. What good are you doing this? It's not going to bring Nacole back. And if you hurt yourself, nobody else is going to get out there and work as hard as you are to try to find this person. So that's why I say everything is mind over matter. You let things control you, it will. So I knew that I had to get back in control of what I was doing.
For years, Aquanella worked hard to keep Nacole's case in the media. She held vigils and balloon releases to mark significant dates, to remind the public that someone killed her daughter, and he's still out there. But no one was ever arrested, and Aquanella just kept fighting. And then, in 2004, 9 years after Nacole's murder, the case took a dramatic turn. Cops discovered that Nacole's killer had struck again.
I was like, holy shit. It motivated me. It excited me that we have a good lead now. He's in the area. He's back. I hate that it happened to this young girl, but we know we have something to work with.
Vince Velasquez was a homicide detective assigned to Atlanta PD's cold case unit when new information came in linking Nacole's killer to a recent rape case. It happened about 3 miles away in East Point, Georgia. The victim was 13 years old.
This rape victim goes to the hospital. A rape kit is completed. That rape kit is then sent to the GBI, our state crime lab. They work the profile up, they put it into the state database, CODIS, and boom, they get a forensic hit. That forensic hit now matches the rape murder of Nacole Smith in 1995. The DNA is the same. It's the same person who killed Nacole. He's back.
Meaning the same person is behind both of these crimes. No question.
No question. His if he has a twin brother, it's either him or his twin brother. They're the only two people in the world that have identical DNA or identical twins. So, and more than likely that's not the case. So whoever raped this young 13-year-old girl on Father's Day in East Point, Georgia, right, in 2004 is the same person who raped and murdered Nacole Smith in 1995.
It was a huge break in the investigation. The 13-year-old girl was walking home when he attacked her, and then he let her go. In 2005, I sat down with the girl's mother to interview her for America's Most Wanted. I'm going to play a clip of my story so that you can hear what she said. You'll also hear some reenactment and the voice of Russell Popham from East Point Police Department.
She had went over to one of her friend's house, and on her way home, this man just came out of nowhere and questioning her.
What you doing out here by yourself?
Walking home.
He's asking her first, why are you out late like this? Why are you by yourself? They had walked about a minute, and he was talking to her the whole time.
What's your name?
I gotta go.
Maybe I could walk with you. And he just grabs her like this and says, come with me. If you don't cooperate, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, I got a knife, a big one. You hear me?
The man pulls the girl into the woods.
A friend of mine, they had saw her running towards the house, and they picked her up and brought her home to me. And she just started screaming and crying. I couldn't understand it, and I just said, what is it? She said, somebody just raped me, Mom. I say, what? She said, somebody just raped me. I say, no, how did this happen? She said, Mom, I don't know. It just happened so fast.
It was a heart-wrenching interview. The girl's mom wanted to speak to try to help, but she asked us not to reveal her identity. Her daughter was able to give police a description, and she sat down with a forensic sketch artist at the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. You can take a look at the sketch on our website, insidecrime.org. The girl's description for this man is very distinct.
A gap tooth, round face. She gives us an age appropriation, and round glasses, eyeglasses. Not sunglasses, but eyeglasses. So now we have a sketch of what this person should look like. What do we do with this thing? Well, we have to put it in the media. We put a billboard up on Greenbrier Parkway with this sketch of this perpetrator.
I remember when you called me to say we've got this composite sketch, and how it was so motivating to you, because I said, well, we can put that on national TV now.
Right, and that's what you did. That's exactly what you did, Angeline. I mean, you remember, you and I, right? Not only did we put it on America's Most Wanted, but not only did America's Most Wanted do a story, Cold Case Files did a story. Here we are, Cold Case Files doing, a 1 hour episode, Bill Curtis narrating this thing. So now we are on 2 occasions, this composite is on national TV. I do believe at some point that this perpetrator saw this coverage. I believe we may have educated him. I believe that he's still offending. He's probably offending using a condom. He's probably altered his identity because we're looking for a person with a gap tooth. He may have gotten his teeth fixed by, right after this stuff aired.
Police got tips from all over the country. They followed up on those leads and collected DNA samples over and over again. Still, nothing panned out. Then last fall, there was a fresh attempt at rejuvenating the case.
I'm Cheryl McCollum. Right now, I'm an active crime scene investigator for a Metro Atlanta Police Department, and I'm also the director of the Cold Case Investigative Research Institute.
Cheryl teamed up with an Atlanta television station and asked the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to update the original sketch of Nacole's killer.
So we took that composite and did an age progression with Kelly Lawson at the GBI, and we asked her to do it in color. So that way we had more of what he possibly looks like today. So we sent that to APD. We sent it to, Nacole's mama, and let everybody look at it before we put it out publicly.
The new sketch is simply incredible. A side note, the artist she mentioned, Kelly Lawson, is the daughter of the artist who created the original sketch, Marla Lawson. With the new color sketch, I asked Cheryl to summarize his profile for you.
He is somebody that is a serial predator. It's crime of opportunity. He's organized. He brings the weapon with him. He takes the weapon away with him. That weapon is loaded. He ain't afraid to use it. He's not afraid if people hear the gunshot. He's close enough where he feels like he can blend in and hide in plain sight, because in both situations, he was walking. There was no car anywhere, so he's walking freely onto that path, away from that path, through the apartment complexes, in these 2 neighborhoods. And these 2 neighborhoods are in 2 different cities. Now, they're cities that are side by side that connect, but again, you're talking about 2 different police departments. One was early in the morning in the daylight, one was at night with the cover of darkness. So again, he'll switch up his time. He has a particular victim. He likes young African-American females, roughly 14 years old, that are alone and walking. So again, he's not afraid to be in this community. He knows nobody's seeing him. So he probably goes in and out of like low-level type jobs, maybe even a job here and there. But he can virtually go about his life unseen.
So far, it looks like that profile and the new sketch have not brought in any solid leads. But there's one powerful tool that's solving cases across the country. Atlanta cops hope genetic genealogy can make a difference in this case.
The Golden State Killer and those investigators in San Francisco, in the Bay Area did a phenomenal job and using technology to help solve a case. So we kind of took a page out of that playbook and are applying that to this case here. So we are in the process of working that. It is a painstaking process. And I think it took the team over in the Bay Area over a year once they first even came up with the idea, because it's not just running a sample through a database, it's a tremendous amount of legwork. Because you're looking at if you go back and we have relatives that are living amongst us that we don't even know. And that's how, it's like a needle in a haystack. And there's a lot of needles you got to go through, and that's what they did. So we're trying that process.
Investigators have told Nacole's mother that the process could take a long time. And even then, it may not lead to answers. But after 25 years, Aquanella believes her wait is nearly over.
It's going to be real soon, because I was telling my cousin earlier, when they came and told me about Nacole was murdered, and I had this pain in my stomach, in the pit of my stomach, and that pain wouldn't go away. It was just it was a real eerie feeling. So for the last 3 weeks, I've been feeling that pain. So I really do think it's going to be really, really soon that this person will be off the street. It's just a gut feeling, and it's a good feeling I'm having. His time and his days are numbered.
That's it for this edition of Inside Crime. To check out those composite sketches and more, go to the case file section of our website, insidecrime.org. If you enjoyed this season, please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcast. It would really mean a lot, and it can help others discover the show. Thanks again for listening, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode of Inside Crime.